Would you like it if I told you the days you could and could not do something? In this case, I'm talking about PA's statewide ban on Sunday hunting. State legislators at PA need to listen to the PA Game Commission and their board and get rid of the ban on Sunday hunting. Today we'll go over the problem, examine the policy, and go over the counter arguments for this situation. Here's the problem. The problem is that the decision is not in the hands of the PA Game Commission. It is in the hands of our state legislators. The PA Game Commission they have a board that will vote on these topics that they think will be good regulations and laws, and then they will send them up to the state legislators after they pass voting. The state legislators will then decide if they want to make these into laws or not. Typically, anything that gets sent to the state legislators from the PA Game Commission is turned into a law based on the PA Game Commission knows best regarding these circumstances. In 2018, the PA Game Commission had a 4-3 vote in favor of Sunday hunting, which is something that they've never had before. When passed up to the state legislators, though, it failed. One of the main reasons was Representative David Maloney, who is an avid outdoorsman. He claims that PA does not have a deer population that is sustainable for Sunday hunting, and he says that the PA Game Commission does a bad job in managing wildlife. This is not a true statement, and the county that I live in, Chester County, we have the highest deer population, and we have so many deer, in fact, that at night they hire sharpshooters to take out deer, and hunting license sales go straight towards conservation and improvement of the wildlife conditions, especially for deer. So every year money is getting thrown at helping improve the deer populations. According to the PA DCNR, or Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the deer population in Pennsylvania now is about 1.5 million deer, and that equates to about 30 deer per square mile. And around 100 years ago, it was around 9 deer per square mile. So obviously there's been a tremendous increase in the deer populations. Another problem is that PA, although we have a lot of hunters when compared to the population, it's still not that big of a number. According to the PA Game Commission, there's around 1 million licensed hunters every year in Pennsylvania. But when compared to the population of Pennsylvania, which is 13 million, that's around 10 to 12, 13%. I just don't think that those numbers are high enough for state legislators to really care about a small group like that. Legislators like to appease the majority, so that's kind of a minority group. Although we're small in numbers, in economic power we hold, every year pretty much hunting license sales range from $80 to $100 million, according to the PA Game Commission. And that does not include money spent on lodging, gas, and food. So obviously there's a lot more money from hunters than what you would think from such a small population. And before explaining my policy, I want to share a news clip from CBS Pittsburgh to show that I'm not alone in wanting to change this law.
Hunters are talking about a proposal to end the ban on Sunday hunting.
That ban could be lifted under new legislation being considered in the General Assembly. Bob Allen reports.
Pennsylvania is one of 3 states in the country where hunting on Sunday is banned. Some hunters think it's time for a change.
We can work on Sundays, we can fish on Sundays, we can pay taxes on Sundays, a lot of things we can do on Sundays. I still feel that Pennsylvania is back in the old days.
A statewide organization called HUSH, or Hunters United for Sunday Hunting, are trying to replace the antiquated law.
We are missing out on revenue, and it will get worse because all of our neighbors now allow Sunday hunting. So we're going to have Pennsylvanians that say, you know what, I'm not going to buy a hunting license in PA. I can go to Ohio or West Virginia and hunt 7 days.
State Senator Jim Brewster is one of several sponsors of a bill supporting hunting on Sunday that could come up for a vote this spring.
And as you can see from that small news clip, obviously I'm not the only one who wants to get this law changed. So for policy that I have come up with, there needs to be a switch of power from the state legislators to the PA Game Commission. There needs to be a law enacted that gives the PA Game Commission the power to be able to act and create laws on I think things regarding wildlife resources, just anything with wildlife and hunting kind of regulations and fishing. PA Game Commission will then have a board that will vote on these decisions, whether or not they think they should be turned into laws, and then they can make their own laws. PA Game Commission has its own officers already. Their officers have the same power as police officers. They enforce the game and fish laws on top of that. And I think, why shouldn't they be able to create the laws when they're the ones who are having to enforce them? A counter argument for the situation is that it shouldn't be passed because the mountain bikers, bird watchers, hikers, and horseback riders feel unsafe, and they're worried that they will be mistaken for what is in season and shot at. This is pretty ironic because the land that these people do these things on are state game lands, which are paid for from hunting license sales. So it's kind of like them saying that they're scared to be on the land that the hunters should be able to be on. And another thing about the safety issue, PA hunters have to go through a hunter safety course, which is around an 8-hour course. And after you go through the 8 hours, you have to pass a test in order to obtain a license. And in these courses, they go over gun safety, how to identify your target correctly, and a bunch of other regulations. And according to the PA Game Commission, since 1959, when the first hunter safety course was enacted, hunting shooting related incidents went down drastically. So safety is not that big of an issue, I don't think, when hunters are really safety courteous in Pennsylvania. And then lastly, with the conclusion, so today we examined the problem, went over the policy, and addressed the counter arguments. The state legislators should listen to the PA Game Commission and the overturning of Sunday hunting, or give the PA Game Commission power in these sorts of laws and regulations. And this needs to get passed so hunters can enjoy their weekends just like any other normal person, without someone telling them that they can or cannot do something on certain days. Yeah, that's